Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about arguably the most controversial piece of Destiny right now, and that is the portal. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the problem and the future of Destiny kind of as a whole. So let's just jump straight into it. The portal was built to simplify the game, unify activities, make the experience clearer, but as for us as the community, we are pretty much split down the middle how we feel about it. Maybe that's being optimistic to say it's down the middle. But I hot take, I think that the portal is actually a good idea. It has a place in Destiny. It just isn't there yet. I originally was very opposed to it. Very candidly, I was originally very opposed to it. But when I started to get into Edge of Fate and play it, I saw the vision. The old world tab did give the game a lot of personality. It felt alive. But for experienced players, all we were really doing was manually jumping into the activities over and over again. The same activities over and over, Grandmasters, etc. We were doing that. We were just doing it from the World tab instead of the portal. The portal just became the new middleman. Really, we just had to click more menus to get there. If anything, it made it easier for us. It also gives us an idea of what loot is where and how to get it. So that's kind of a big deal, right? Because before, it was up to just random chance, or you were going to YouTube, or you were going to some sort of guide, or data mining, etc. But the problem with the portal, conversely, is that it still feels like soulless. It doesn't have that feel to it. Destiny has lost its reason to explore destinations in any meaningful way. And I think that that's a problem that predates the portal. Because again, even as experienced players, we were just going into, say, the EDZ and then Warlord's Ruin, as an example. So without the destination meaning something, the portal really makes sense because all it did was streamline the process for us. But it shouldn't replace the world, it should complement it. When the portal launched, rewards were terrible. The grind was brutal in the later half, 400 to 500, 450 to 500 specifically. The community is used to hitting max power in just a couple of days, but Bungie didn't set the expectations. Truthfully, they didn't set the expectations properly that this was supposed to be a longer climb over the course of the season. I do think that tiered loot is great. It just hasn't been implemented the best, but overall it's great. They need to add those tiered layers to other activities beside just the portal. They need to add tiered loot to everything, but I understand that that's a huge undertaking. One of the things that people talk about too within the portal is the matchmaking system. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, I think that everyone has a right to the opinion on that, but ultimately I think matchmaking is a good thing. More players, more opportunity is good. I just think that from the perspective of what you gatekeep, the only thing you should gatekeep, I think, are raids. I think doing Fireteam Finder for those is fair, so at least you can set up some guidelines around, like, hey, I just want to be able to have a microphone or something to that effect. But overall, I think that matchmaking into certain activities is good because you can build like real fire teams, real friends. I think that that's a good thing. Some people have said that the portal removes choice. I think it kind of in a weird way fixes that issue because now you can grind to max power in any playlist. Like if you want to continue to do PvP, I mean, you can. There's nothing stopping you. Before, you had to do a little bit of everything, which there's some good in that too, don't get me wrong. But I mean, if you're exclusively a PvP player, do you really want to go in and do you want to run Nightmare of Galron, over and over again because it's a good farm? That just doesn't... That's not the way that they want to play. That's not fair to them. The key should be balance. The portal shouldn't consume all development time. The world spaces need love, but the playlists should also feel rewarding. And ultimately, it all has to exist. It just is what it is. As far as the communication with us as a community, hot take, I think that in the grand scheme of things, I do think that Bungie is listening now, but they're also balancing against business metrics like playtime, revenue retention, whatever metrics the company has set forth that comes from high up. They don't always align with what we as players want. And I'm not giving Bungie a pass. They had a huge miss, in my opinion, earlier this summer. Like the first pass on Portal tuning, they completely missed the memo. Completely missed the memo. But lately they've been more responsive. It's just a matter of what can they accomplish in a specific time period. I think the changes coming to the portal and that have already hit the portal make the grind more doable. So I think that they've been better responsive. What we just need is more communication, not just about what changes are coming, but why. I think that it would be good to talk about why resources are thin, and that's fine. Just tell us. If things are thin, just tell us that they are and why. That's fine. Transparency builds patience. It really does. It goes a long way with us. If I were to fix the portal, I would keep it. Ultimately, I'm keeping the portal, but I would balance the rewards, make the bonus drops. The biggest thing for me is like my fire team would get on, and it's like playing this game of like tic-tac-toe of, well, this activity gives me a bonus drop, but this activity doesn't give you a bonus drop, but this activity gives him a bonus drop, so I guess we have to do all three of them, which isn't inherently a bad thing to diversify us, but it would be nice to be more consistent, so that way we're not like split on what to run. There should be some sort of multiplier for completing all activities within a subsection, or completing, say, 5 of them if you don't want to do it for all of them, but say, hey, complete 5 different fire ops activities and you get an activity or extra bonus. It doesn't matter which 5 as long as you do 5. You should have what they call a bonus pool. So those rewards that you get from your weekly challenges or your daily challenges where you get bonus drops, it should just go into a pool that rewards on your next completed portal activity. That makes way more sense to me if you're going to keep that system, or you just make it predictable by doing portal activities within each section. So that way your fire teams aren't fighting over what they're trying to do. That provides variety. It also provides good reward. Alright, so let's talk about the soul of Destiny. One of the things that I think is missing from the game, and again, it's before and predates the portal by a long shot, but the adventure part of Destiny is what's missing. The mystery, the mystique, the secrets, the reason to go out and explore a play space with my friends. Like, I wish I had a very specific answer for this one, because I don't. My initial thought was to add like mini raid events to public spaces that require multiple guardians in order to achieve. The problem with that is, unfortunately, they've done this with multiple things like Vex Incursion or Excursion or whatever it was on Neomuna, and honestly kind of like with the Sieve or Scythe on Kepler. They've done these, but it doesn't seem like they are generating the right result. Random mini bosses that pop up and then drop a chest with a blue and some glimmer, that ain't it. I don't know. You need to find a world between the two of those and public events that make sense, because right now they're not rewarding. There needs to be a reason to explore places. There needs to be something to do within those places. Lost Sectors filled that void for a little bit. So I apologize. I do not have a good idea here. I just know that I want to have a reason to explore the world spaces instead of loading into a menu to load into a menu to load into an encounter. I want something within the space. I don't know what that is. I would love a brainstorming session. I would love to hear your thoughts on what that is. That's where Destiny's heart lives. In my opinion, it's in those activities and it's in the narrative. It's those two things. It's in the destinations when they're good and they're enjoyable and you want to explore, and it's in the narrative. Those two things meet, and that's what makes Destiny fantastic. So the bigger problem, or the bigger picture, there's a lot of issues at Bungie around staffing, around leadership change, around budgets, around God only knows what, because they don't tell us everything. And I get it, they never will tell us everything, but there's a deeper problem there that won't be fixed overnight. Again, leadership's in transition, recovering from layoffs, adjusting goals. That's going to take a year, maybe more, to stabilize. But I do think that progress will happen. PlayStation put a ton of money into Bungie. They gotta find a way to get it back. And Marathon, and I don't want to be a naysayer or a doomer, but I don't think Marathon is it. If I'm just calling a spade, I don't think Marathon is it. So, the best thing that I think that Bungie can do right now is communicate what mountains they're trying to climb. Let us in on the process. We don't need every financial detail. We just want some context. Show us the player base split, and I think that that will help the community educate themselves on why Destiny does, or Bungie does, what they do. I think that that's interesting. And speaking of like communication and timelines and things like that, we have Renegades coming up. That's the next step. We don't know the expansion post Renegades, and normally at this time we already know at least what the next expansion's called, because we would be getting some sort of reveal event, or normally we would have already had it for June of next year, like at the most baseline level. What I think that they really need to do, because I think that they're up against some deadlines right now and everything, I think that they need to delay Renegades. I think they need to delay it to just the end of January, sometime in February, because if they launch it in December, when they plan on launching it, and there are bugs and technical issues like there have been over this year because of the manpower issues, then we are going to go the entire month of December with those issues, because they normally take a holiday, a couple of weeks off, minus like absolutely necessary things. They take a couple weeks off at the end of December. We cannot afford to have that type of issue. I would rather them delay it, polish it in January. I think that that's a better choice. If we know why, we will be fine with it. Ultimately, I think after that, they need to take a long break. And the big question is, do we finally move to Destiny 3? Or I would say call it like Destiny Forever, drop the numbers. We need to take a step forward. And I think in order to do that, they need to take time off. They need to take significant time off. They need to take 2-3 years and just cook. Let Destiny 2 be what it is. I think that it's risky, but they're going to have to manage Marathon's launch, and they're going to have to manage Destiny's future. Right now, Destiny's future is much more lucrative than Marathon's, in my opinion. So, as far as Destiny 3, I can talk about that in another video. But overall, I think that we need to take that step forward, and we know what they can do when they sit back and take time to cook. My favorite thing that ever happened was when Joe Blackburn, post-reveal of the final shape, said, "Hey, I'm here today to talk about the final shape and the delay that's coming. We know it's not meeting your expectations right now. We hear you. However, we have been keeping a couple of things close to the vest, and when we come back in the spring, after this delay, when we come back and we reintroduce you to the final shape, we are just going to let the game talk for itself or speak for itself. And man, did Into the Light and the re-reveal of the final shape with Prismatic, did that hit hard. That was the most hyped I have ever been for Destiny. And I don't even think it's close. I remember being so excited that I went and I started finding streamers and YouTubers to just look at their reaction because everybody was losing their mind. It's like, what? I've got solar and strand and stasis? What is going on? Right? So exciting. And then the narrative was great, of course, right? Those were all great things that you can add to the pie. But when Bungie takes time to cook and they just kind of go dark, they are never better. They don't miss when they actually do that. So I think that it's time that happens. The key is the communication before they go dark. What are they doing and why? And I promise that there will be players that are waiting for the reveal. Now, if they goof it up, yeah, that's where we have to go into the doom and gloom a little bit. But man, that's what I want. So we can talk about Destiny 3 in a separate video, what we want from it, because I think the biggest question, this is what I'll leave you with. What do you want out of a Destiny 3? Are you okay with starting over with your loot? Because that's a serious conversation, right? What do you want from Destiny 3, specifically that Destiny 2 can't offer you? And how do you feel about starting over from scratch? How long are you willing to wait for it? You know, I think that these are all really good questions. So let's talk about that in the next video, okay? Because I think that there is a little bit of a play here. I think Bungie has a slight master plan, and we just haven't seen it come to fruition yet. There's hiccups here, but I think that there is more to it. So the next video, I'm already getting you excited for the clickbait because it's going to say Destiny 3, Bungie's master plan. That's going to be the name of this next video. So that's all I've got for today. That's my thoughts on the portal and kind of where we are right now. Again, please give me any thoughts that you have about Destiny 3, the reset. Give me any thoughts and feedback. Where did I get it wrong? Where did I get it right? Again, think about the video where I talked about smart feedback or star feedback. You know, let's be respectful. Let's do all those things, but let's have some good discourse around it. And let's have a good night. Let's get excited for the exotic mission dropping today. This video is coming out Tuesday. Exotic mission today. That video will also be going up. So let's talk about that in the next video as well. I'm super excited to get into it. But that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you took something away from it. As always, it really means a lot. Until we gather again, Guardians, remember, you were responsible for the environment that you create, and you should never underestimate the impact that you have on those around you. See you soon.